the more we can feel and kind of manage our big emotions like sadness and anger and frustration and feel them, we can also feel the wonderful things more. We can feel more joy, more awe, more connectedness. Welcome to Spoil Your Baby podcast. I'm so happy to be here with my colleague and friend, Rocio. We are both neuroscientists and mothers, and we're here to support you on your motherhood journey.
Hello, everybody. And today we have something for you. This episode is going to be a little bit experiential. So tell us about it, Greer.
Yeah, I'm so excited to do. I guess this is our first experiential episode. We work with mothers all the time, and we want to start sharing some of these beautiful practices that we like to share with mothers. So we want to share them more widely. So today our episode is about one of the most powerful and I would say necessary parts of managing our emotions and regulating ourselves with our babies. And that is our breath. And so many of us are not even aware of our breathing patterns, of our breath, and of the power that our breath has in our lives, and especially in our stress systems and our abilities to manage stress. When did this sort of come up for you, Rocio? I'm curious in your journey.
I don't know when exactly. It wasn't intentional before because I have been doing yoga and mindfulness for a long time, even before I was a mom. So I did have some of these habits without thinking too much about it. But I do remember saying to some colleagues, like friends, when I was working in the lab, whenever we talk about mindfulness, I'm like, I have children. I mean, that is the mindfulness. And now I think I was saying that because they bring you into the present, and then when maybe they are dysregulated, then you have your breath, right, to bring you back. And it's something that I find so incredible because it's part of the autonomic nervous system, like of all our unconscious processes, automatic, but we can actually control it, right? Doing mindful breathing. So it has this dual path that I find, like you said, is very, very powerful. And
amazing.
Yeah.
I love how you noticed that before you really knew it consciously, in a way.
Yeah. Now that we teach it, it's like, oh, of course, right?
Yes.
This is the
completely.
power.
I know. Yeah. I've said for so long that I wanted every single family I worked with, when I was doing a lot of doula work, it was one of the first things I taught parents. I'm like, the first thing we have to learn, you have to learn how to breathe, because we know motherhood, fatherhood is a lot. It's a lot of emotions. It's a lot of stress. It's a lot of big experiences. And before becoming a parent, we always say this, it's easy to run away from emotions. It's easy to run away from stress and distract and dissociate and have these coping mechanisms that allow us really to not feel things very much and to suppress and run away from feelings. But when we have kids, impossible, right? It's all right there. And the more we can feel and kind of manage our big emotions like sadness and anger and frustration and feel them, we can also feel the wonderful things more. We can feel more joy, more awe, more connectedness. And so it's so worth it for that. But it's also just so important for us to keep our cool with our children as much as we can too, right? Especially our babies.
Yeah, yes. Totally. And this is one way. Right?
Yeah. And that's another thing too, right? Like when people, look at mindfulness and parenting and conscious parenting, it can be intimidating because they think, oh, that means I do have to keep my cool all the time. I do have to be regulated or know how to regulate all the time. And we know that that's not the case for most of us. We are almost always constantly getting, dysregulated and then using our tools to get back to a regulated state. And that's great. We expect it. Our kids expect it. And it's a learning experience for everybody involved, right?
Yeah, and also let's not forget the modeling we do, right? If they see us lose our cool, and then what we're doing to go back to being grounded. That's modeling, right?
Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. I actually had a conversation with my son last night. He was reading a book and one of the characters died and he didn't want to tell me about it. And I could see that he felt too much. Like he was feeling really strong sadness about it. And I said that to him last night. I was like, I can see you have a really sensitive heart. I do too. And it, your emotions felt so big about that. And he said, yeah, that's right. And he said, I felt embarrassed because my feelings were so big. And I said, well, if I show you more of my big feelings, will that help you be able to show your big feelings? And he said, yeah, I think so. And so I'm going to do a better job of modeling,
When you want to cry,
having
just
big
cry.
feelings. Exactly. Exactly. And I have to do a better job at like when that comes up to show him, right? Because again, we want to be that model for all of the things, right?
Yeah.
And with babies, it's more simple. And when our kids get bigger, it gets bigger too. But this is the place to start. So, our nervous system talks to our baby's nervous system. It's always in communication. It's always connected. Again, it could be an intimidating bit of knowledge for people. But when we have support and our own knowledge and tools, we can be empowered to use this in a really positive way. So when we're dysregulated, our baby feels it. But when we're regulated, our baby feels it too. And they can start to understand this process through our modeling. So it's so important. We know it's co-regulation, right? When we regulate, our baby feels it and they can regulate as well. And so back to our breath, it's the fastest way, one of the best and fastest tools to shift our nervous system into a regulated or calm state, which is why, again, I always said every single family, every mom, every dad, every parent really need a very strong breath tool when they become parents, right?
100%.
Yeah. Let's talk about the neuroscience of this for a second. Want to tell us a little bit about how breath is regulated, is connected to our brain states?
So how about we say a little bit about the stress system, right? What's really happening when we're stressed? Our sympathetic nervous system is activated. That's when we're into fight or flight mode. And so you'll notice your breath. I certainly notice, heart pounding, you're tense, your voice might be a bit like, shaky. Your breath is shallow. It doesn't feel good at all. And then the opposite is when we are in parasympathetic mode, we have deep breaths, especially long exhales, right? And so this is where we want to be. When we're with our breath, we want to go back there when we find ourselves we're too activated. And there are so many ways, but we want to share one with you today.
I think the best, like discovery with all of this is science in the past while is our minds can change our behavior. So our minds can influence our breath, and then our breath can then influence our mind.
Yeah.
So if we are in that heightened stress state, we can become aware of it and say, now's the time to change my breathing. And through changing breathing, that will activate calm circuits in our brain. And so then we can calm down, right? So we actually have a lot of influence over our brain body state through our breath. And there's beautiful science to back that up as well. Conversely, if we breathe fast and shallow on purpose into our chest, that can activate us into a stress state, an anxious state, right? So that's an important kind of point for parents to understand too, right? You have so much influence when you practice this. Both that awareness piece that you are maybe breathing quickly or you are feeling stressed, and then that action piece of, okay, I'm going to just like close my eyes, take 5 big, breaths that we're going to teach and change our brain body state. And then we can show up for our baby in the way that we want to. Mm-hmm. Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Take us through this exercise.
So
we're going to all follow along with you too. Yeah.
Okay, so it's really simple. What we want you to practice today is called physiological sigh. And we're going to do 5. So I'm going to do it once, and then we can do the sequence of 5. So physiological sigh starts with taking a deep inhale through your nose. And right at the top of the inhale, you take a second one. Again, shorter inhale, and then you exhale slowly and completely through your mouth. Like that, okay? So that was just a bit of modeling. And so now we can do 5 of those. Are you ready, Greer?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's do it. Deep inhale. A little one. Exhale. Deep inhale. Shorter. And exhale through your mouth. Another inhale. And a shorter one. And then exhale through your mouth. Let's do another one. Deep inhale. Another shorter inhale. Then exhale slowly and completely through your mouth. And we'll do one last one. Deep inhale. Then another shorter inhale. And exhale slowly and completely through your mouth. And
wonderful. I feel so good.
Yeah. We want to invite all of you listening to bring your awareness to your body and how you're feeling. And, just think a little bit and drop into your body and be aware of how you're feeling. Really, you want to share a little bit about how you're feeling?
I felt like on the second breath, I felt a switch.
Yeah,
inside. I felt the calming switch go on, which was, I don't think I've ever noticed that before. That was really wonderful. And yeah, now I open my eyes, and every time I close my eyes and do a breathing exercise and open my eyes again, the world looks new and fresh and bright, which is not a surprise because that's what happens when your stress system gets calmed.
Yeah.
Right? We actually do see more color and more of our world in a beautiful way.
And the reason why we wanted to share this physiological side is because we know that is one of the most powerful breaths to bring you the fastest to where that place. So I love it that you say by the second breath you already notice. I think I heard Andrew Huberman talk about this, and he said if you do 3, you're good to go. You're like going to be grounded. And so imagine, we're all set now with this. So I want all parents that are listening to this to know that you have this tool with you, and next time your kids fight or your baby's crying unconsolably, you don't know what to do, just do physiological sigh.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's great research that doing it regularly will improve your mood over time, as well as that powerful tool of just regulating you in those moments where you need to be regulated. So you can do it when you are feeling lots of stress, but you can also incorporate this into your day. You can do it right before you have a meal, every time you have a meal or a snack. You can do it just, at certain times of the day. And that will be a really good preventative tool in managing your stress and managing all the things that we have to handle as moms and dads and parents. So thank you so much for that, Rocio. And everyone listening, use this episode as a resource for yourself. You can mark the time when we have the exercise, and you can have Rocio guide you through it as needed. Thanks for listening today. We're happy to deliver this little tool for you. We also want to take this opportunity to invite you to a free 5-day event that we're putting on for mothers in July. We're doing a lot of education and also experiences like you just went through here. We're going to explore exactly what babies need in infancy to grow a healthy, resilient brain, everything rooted in science and heart. And this is important in this world right now with a lot of confusing information. Even the mothers we encounter with the most beautiful, heartfelt, and gentle intentions still are bombarded and influenced by some of the low nurture myths in our culture. And so we really want to give you a good foundation of what your baby needs to thrive. We're going to talk about baby sleep, which is one of our huge topics that we love to educate and support parents on. More emotion regulation like you experienced today, and other powerful tools in motherhood that we see liberate mothers on a daily basis. And we're so excited to share it. It's very nourishing, very practical, and it's totally free. You can come live or watch our recordings. So to join, you can go onto my Instagram, Dr. Greer Kirshenbaum, comment the word bloom on any post, and you'll get a DM with an invitation, or you can look at the link in my bio for an invitation. And we're really excited to do that and see you there. So keep breathing. Send us a message. Let us know how this is going for you. And we will see you in another place very soon. Thank you so much.